Hi guys, welcome to another episode of the Tincture of Sense. On today's episode, as usual, I'm going to be asking you guys a question. So before I ask you the question, I'm going to give you some information. So in 2014, in a particular country, the value of things or possessions that the police took from the citizens was more than the value of what burglars stole from the citizens. Now, do you know what country I'm talking about? Anyway, I'll make it easy. So I'm going to give you options. So option A is the United Kingdom, option B is Nigeria, and option C is the United States of America. Any ideas? Now, if you chose A or B, you'll be wrong because the answer is C. Now, why does any of this matter? Well, you have to watch more to find out.
Civil asset forfeiture. This refers to the practice where police use their powers to seize items from citizens. For example, seizing cars a fraudster purchased with the proceeds of their crime. The seizure is supposed to be temporary pending when the case against the fraudster is proven and the assets, in this case cars, are then officially confiscated. This is akin to what EFCC does. The problem is some people aren't found guilty before their assets, money, cars, houses, or other valuables are confiscated. Some people aren't even accused or charged with a crime. Merely being suspected of a crime is enough in some states. Finding oneself in such a situation will be quite scary and disconcerting. You're minding your business 1 minute, and the next, some law enforcement officer thinks you're suspicious and starts the process of separating you from your property, leaving you with little to no recourse to recover it. While this might seem familiar to a lot of people watching this episode, especially the Nigerian audience, what I described wasn't experienced at the hands of the infamous Special Anti-Robbery Squad, SARS, even though they mirror some of what SARS is accused of. Before proceeding, I just want to note the irony of a Special Anti-Robbery Squad being accused of and allegedly carrying out strong armed robbery and murder inside life. Anyway, all the seizing and confiscating activities I've described so far were carried out by law enforcement in a saner climate, the United States of America. As everyone now knows, the US police also have issues with excessive force, meaning excessive brutality, and a high incidence of officer-involved shootings. Some are actually extrajudicial killings, and these are almost always attributed to bad eggs. Now, in 2014, for the first time ever, the value of assets the US police took from citizens was more than the value of what burglars stole. Let me rephrase this. The American police took more things from Americans than the value of what Americans lost to burglars. The police took assets worth $5 billion, while the burglars took $3.5 billion from American homes. What's the point of what I said so far? Well, people keep looking to the so-called saner climate to save Nigeria specifically and Africa in general, even though evidence abounds that no individual, organization, or country can save us. How policing is practiced in some parts of the US is no different from how some notorious SARS units operated. If we look to the US and get policing consultants from them to help us rebuild our police force, can we be sure the negative aspects of their policing won't be imported as well? Now, civil asset forfeiture isn't the only noxious part of policing in the saner climate of America we should be wary of. There are other insidious aspects as well. Case in point, Ferguson. Ferguson is a town in the US state of Missouri. In 2014, a police officer shot and killed Michael Brown, an 18-year-old black teenager. The killing led to weeks of rioting, looting, and all sorts of mayhem. The black residents were angry, not just at the killing of Michael Brown, but also at the way the police had been treating them for months, years, and decades. The killing was just the kindling that lit the fire. The treatment of the black residents was not just bad, it was terrible, atrocious, and downright disgraceful. It turned out that the black residents were being extorted by the police and essentially used to finance the activities of the town, and the local government was in on it. They cough, they get a ticket. They stand 2 feet away from a pole instead of 3, ticket. They eat in a car, ticket. They look at a police officer the wrong way, ticket. While the scenarios described here are made up, the truth is, I can't say they didn't really happen because what the police were giving the black residents tickets for weren't much different. Rather than raise revenues at levels required to fund the Ferguson Police Department, the city chose to sick the police on black residents like medieval tax collectors. This is essentially what was happening to some officers of the Nigerian police. They had to raise funds to buy their uniforms, boots, and other accessories that should have been provided to them by their employer, the government. The only difference between what was going on in Ferguson and in the Nigerian police is that while funds weren't made available to police in Ferguson, leaving them to extort black residents, funds were probably made available for the officers of the Nigerian Police Force, but some people decided to, eat the money, leaving the officers to extort citizens to fund basic necessities. Now, extorting citizens for any reason is wholly unacceptable, and I'm not condoning it in any way. All I'm doing here is showing parallels between a police force in a saner climate and one in Nigeria. We really need to review every aspect of policing, financing the police, and how they operate, and look to rebuild them in ways that work for us. We shouldn't be looking to yet another system imported from a saner climate, especially when we're not sure of the unintended consequences that might be unleashed with whatever we're getting. I say this because quite a lot of people are blissfully unaware or choose to ignore current realities and history. Trojan horses come to mind. Now, a little bit of history. How many people are aware that the Europeans, prior to colonization, marveled at the systems of governance in place in various cities and kingdoms in what is now present-day Nigeria? We had enviable governance practices that were systematically destroyed during the process of colonizing us. Shouldn't we look to our history for practices that can help us move forward rather than saner climes we think are rosy and perfect? It's high time we stop reflexively looking outside for help and solutions and accept that there's no Superman or Superwoman coming to save us. The sooner we realize this, the better. We need to collectively get our acts together and find local solutions to eliminate SARS-like elements in all aspects and areas of our society.
While we're looking for solutions, we need to look inwards and use a tincture of sense, just like this. Yeah, just like that, to kill whatever SARS-like tendencies we have in us. Because unless we don't want to be truthful, each and every one exhibits SARS-like tendencies. Now, I dare just one person to go into the comment section and say, oh no, I don't have any SARS-like tendencies. And I will do one whole episode, actually one whole season of episodes on SARS-like tendencies that humans exhibit. Don't try me, I'm an angry bird, okay? On that note, thanks for watching. Look out for our next video next week.